Hi everyone. Today's video is going to be on the topic of direct and inverse proportion. So let's look at some examples so that we understand the concept better. So let's look at two parameters, the number of pens that you want to buy and the cost or the price that you will have to pay for them. So let's assume you buy 4 pens first and after a few days you again go to buy some more pens. Let us say you buy 10 this time. So what will you observe is that when you buy more pens, the price that you need to pay is also more. Therefore, as the number of pens increases, their cost also will increase. And if the number of pens you buy decreases, then their cost also decreases. So such a relation in which if one quantity increases, the other also increases is known as direct proportion. Now, another such example will be the number of students that want to go for a picnic and the money that will be collected by the tour operator who is organizing the picnic. So, if more students want to be going for the picnic, then the total money that the operator will be having in the end will be more compared to if less students will be going for the picnic. Now, let's look at some other examples to understand inverse proportion. Now suppose a builder has hired some workers on his construction site to, let's say, finish some work. So if he hires more workers, the time taken to finish the work by these workers will reduce because obviously more people will do the work faster. And if he hires few workers, then they will take much more time to finish the same work. So such a relation in which if one quantity increases, then the other decreases, or if the first quantity decreases, then the second increases, is known as inverse proportion. Similarly, we can also consider the example of where a car is traveling with a higher speed. It will reach the destination in much lesser time as compared to if the car travels at a slower speed. So let's see our first problem. Now the cost of 12 quintals of soya beans is given as 36,000 rupees and we need to find the price of 8 quintals. So let's begin by assuming that the cost of 8 quintals would be X rupees. Now as we saw in the examples before, as the amount of soya beans that we want to buy is reducing from 12 to 8, then the price to be paid will also be reducing. Therefore this question is of direct proportion type. So to solve a sum on direct proportion, we will be taking the ratio. So that will be 12 quintals upon 36,000 will be equal to 8 upon x. Now you can also write it as 36,000 upon 12 will be equal to x upon 8. So the only thing you need to be careful is whichever quantity you are taking in the numerator on the left hand side, the same quantity should be taken on the numerator in the right hand side. So if you are taking quintals in the numerator on left hand side, you have to be taking only quintals even on the right hand side. So if it's price you are going to take as the numerator, then similarly the price will have to be taken in the right hand side as well in the numerator. So we'll have, if we cross multiply, we'll get 12 into x is equal to 8 into 36,000. So that will be x is equal to 8 into 36,000 upon 12, which gives us 24,000 rupees as the cost of 8 quintals. Now the next is 9 workers are paid rupees 2,520. So we need to find how much should 25 workers be paid. So again let's assume that 25 workers need to be paid x rupees. Now as the number of workers that are hired is increasing, so the money that we'll have to pay will also increase. Therefore this is again a direct proportion sum. So we'll have 9 upon 2520 is equal to 25 upon x, which is 9x is equal to 25 into 2520. Therefore x is equal to 25 into 2520 upon 9, which is 7,000 rupees. Let's solve now one example on inverse proportion. So we have Mohan takes 10 days to finish a book if he reads 40 pages each day. So if he wants to finish reading the book in 8 days, we need to find how many pages should he be reading daily. So let's assume that Mohan needs to read X pages daily so that he finishes the book in 8 days. So if he needs to finish the book in lesser number of days, which is 8, then he will have to read more pages daily. So this is an example of inverse proportion. Now in inverse proportion we multiply, we don't take the ratio. So we'll have 10 into 40 is equal to 8x. Therefore x is equal to 400 upon 8. So that gives us 50 pages daily. Now let's look at some advanced problems. So we have Virat and Samrat invested rupees 50,000 and rupees 1,20,000 respectively, and they suffered a loss of 20%. So we need to find what was the loss of each one of them individually. How much loss was suffered by each one of them individually. So now their total investment we have will be 50,000, which is the share of Virat, plus 1,20,000, which is the share of Samrat. So that gives us 1,70,000 as the total investment. Now the loss is 20%. So loss is on the overall investment. So that will be 20 upon 100, which is the loss percentage, into the total investment, which is 1,70,000. So that gives us rupees 34,000 as the total loss. Now each person's loss obviously will have to be calculated in relation to what was their proportion in the investment, or in other words you can say what was their share in the total investment. So the proportion of their loss will be equal to the proportion of their investment. So to calculate the proportion of their investment, we'll take the ratio, that is 50,000 of Virat upon 1,20,000 of Samrat. So that gives us 5 upon 12, or 5:12. So this was the proportion of their loss, and their total loss was rupees 34,000 as we just now calculated. Now to write the ratio 5:12 as quantities, we multiply each number of the ratio with a common factor, say x. So therefore we'll have, let Virat's share be 5x and Samrat's share be 12x. Therefore the addition of their losses, which is 5x plus 12x, should be equal to the total loss, which is 34,000. So that gives us as x is equal to 2,000 rupees. So therefore Virat's loss is 5 into x, which is 5 into 2,000, that gives us rupees 10,000, and Samrat's loss will be 12 into x, that is 12 into 2,000, which gives us rupees 24,000. Next our question is, 4 people, John, Seema, Nikhil and Nilesh, have altogether invested rupees 3,60,000, and they have given us the proportion in which each one has invested. So that is 3:4:7:6. And we have to calculate what was John's share in the total investment or the capital. This is the first part. And in the second part, if overall they made 12% profit, we have to find what was Nikhil's profit. So here the total investment or the capital is given as 3,60,000, and as we have solved in the previous question, to convert the ratio into different parts, numbers, we multiply each number of the ratio by a common factor, say x. So therefore John's capital becomes 3x, Seema's becomes 4x, Nikhil's 7x and Nilesh's 6x, because that was how they had invested. Therefore the addition of each of these should be equal to the total capital. So therefore 3x plus 4x plus 7x plus 6x should be equal to 3,60,000, which is 20x is equal to 3,60,000. So that gives us the value of x as 18,000 rupees. So first now they are asking us to calculate John's share. So that will be 3 into x, which is 3 into 18,000. So his share is rupees 54,000. Okay, now for the second part, they have given us that the total profit was 12%. So again, profit is 12 upon 100 into the total capital. So that is 12 upon 100 into 3,60,000. That gives us the total profit as rupees 43,200. Now each one of them will take a share of the profit, which will be equal to how much each one has invested. So again their profits will be 3x, 4x, 7x and 6x respectively. So now again the addition of the individual profit should be equal to the total profit, which was 43,200. So therefore total profit is equal to 3x plus 4x plus 7x plus 6x equal to 43,200. So that is x is equal to 2,160. So therefore Nikhil's profit will be 7 into 2,160, which gives us rupees 15,120. Okay, so that's it for today guys. Hope you found this video helpful. Do like and subscribe to my channel and stay tuned to watch my upcoming videos. See you then.